Cyclone fans appreciate Coach Rhodes of Iowa State. And there is Paul Rhodes, who grew up in Ankeny, Iowa. And he has his quarterback, Joel Lanning, from that school as well. His counterpart on the other side, Dana Holderson, was able to get bowl eligible with a 49-0 win over Kansas last week.
What really impressed me about West Virginia was after taking that big Big 12 haymaker punch, you know, those 4 games that they just could not win any of them against the Big 12's elite, they still stayed intact as a team and continued basically their identity, and it paid off. They stuck with what they were doing, and now they're on a win streak. They have always been strong in Morgantown, 5-1 this year. Iowa State won the toss and deferred to the second half. West Virginia will receive. That's Cole Netton to kick off. And Jovan Durant is one of their top return artists, and it will be Durant from the 4-yard line, and he'll work the middle of the field and get it across the 20-yard line.
Durant on the return, brought down by the 49, Jack's 3.
So Skylar Howard will bring his troops out offensively. Howard, a junior from Fort Worth, Texas, but went to college at Riverside Community College. This is his first full season starting, although he did finish last year as a starting quarterback and started in the Liberty Bowl. They have a good run game in both Smallwood and Shell. And this will be Wendell Smallwood, and it'll be a loss on the play. And we told you that Iowa State is a fast starting team, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, Kaquan Floyd came up from his strong safety spot right there and put a pretty good hit on Smallwood. And they're going to need some safety DB help.
They work very, very quickly, and up near a first down is David Sills, the true freshman from Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah, that's a pretty good intermediate throw that he struggled with, Skylar Howard. David Sills, a wild story. Everybody knew his name because he was like a 12-year-old that committed to USC through a quarterback guru named Steve Clarkson. It was all kind of a smokescreen. Turned out he's not playing quarterback anymore. It's a wide receiver here at West Virginia. Good athlete.
He just said he wanted to get on as a quarterback in the future. Smallwood would not get the first down. They tried the left side, going over Marquise Lucas, the left tackle, but they are stopped shy by a good yard, and that will send the punt team on for the Mountaineers.
Well, very stout in the beginning, and we always expect Iowa State to come out fast. They've done so all year. They do have a very good-looking roster with a star-laden offense and some pretty good players on defense. Good job being stout against that West Virginia run in the opening series.
Lazard, the return man, takes it at the 20, or the ball will be inside the 20-yard line as Lazard was near that left hash mark and let it go. And there is Joel Lanning, the 6'2 redshirt sophomore from Ankeny, Iowa, same hometown as his head coach.
He's a big quarterback. He's a physical quarterback. He runs the ball well. And frankly, ever since he took over here in 2015 for Sam B. Richardson, the senior starter co-captain, this offense has had a different life. And a quarterback taking over, I mean, you've seen it at every level, can really change the way a team looks. And that's certainly been the case with Lanning and the Cyclones.
They are fast starters. They jumped out to that big lead last week against Kansas State, but then turned the ball over late. What are the 3 things you have for success?
Well, Mike Warren's got to get the ball. He's a great freshman back, probably the best freshman back in the entire country. You got to feed him the ball and make sure that he's getting it. He had a couple costly fumbles last week. You want to keep his confidence up. We just saw Lazard. They have to continue to be aggressive. But it was like Coach Wannstedt said, can they do it for 4 quarters? And for West Virginia, this ain't Kansas anymore. I know that was an easy trip to Lawrence. These guys are a lot tougher, and they learned that in the first series.
Mike Warren, number 2. Lanning will throw the football, and it is almost intercepted by Nick Kwiatkowski, the linebacker, a senior playing his final game, and he is one of their top stars.
And he came in about 2 inches shorter and about 20 pounds lighter to West Virginia, and he's grown into a leader and a physical player, and really one of these great, there's 4 very good productive linebackers that the Mountaineers have, and Kwiatkowski's one of them. Nice play by him getting that paw out there.
So 3rd down and 9 from near the 20. scrambles, completes the pass for a first down to Alan Lazard. He is the talented sophomore from Urbandale, Iowa, about less than an hour from Ames, Iowa, but what a superstar in the making.
Well, watch Lanning first do a great job of eluding the rush. He had somebody cross right in front of his face, but keeps his eyes down the field. And if you're going to dump it off to somebody, it might as well be the guy that's 6'5", about 225. Nice play by Lanning, and a great job of keeping your eyes down the field.
Gain of 14. They run Warren to the right, and he has the first down past midfield.
Mike Warren, 200-pound guy, 6 foot, pretty good size, and that time he just found the edge. Nobody set the edge for West Virginia, usually pretty tough team against the run, and Warren just took it down the field and finished the run physically.
He's first nationally among FBS freshmen with 1,265 yards coming in. One lone back, and they give it to the man, and there's a big hole up the middle. Joshua Thomas, the true freshman from Buford, Georgia, with a huge gain all the way inside the 30-yard line.
You're going to see the cornerback come up. Dillon actually came flying up and just ran right by the play. There was nowhere really for anybody to worry about to elude. He just took the ball right down the field at an ill-timed blitz. They thought it was going to be a pass, an ill-timed blitz by West Virginia.
And we have an injured Mountaineer on the field. We'll take a commercial break. Be back as Iowa State marching on their first possession.
Fans, please.
Joel Lanning brings Iowa State up to the line of scrimmage. It will be the 31-yard line. Jared Harper, the injured safety, remember, he has the inevitable task of replacing the great Carl Joseph, who was injured after 5 games. And Harper is the backup now starting.
Yeah, he took a big hit from Joshua Thomas, the short yardage tailback.
Mike Warren back in the game, gets the call to carry, and nothing. And I had to ask you this, Petros. Here's a guy who's had a wonderful freshman season, but in the final 5 minutes of that game against Kansas State, he had 2 costly fumbles. Where could he be emotionally?
You know, you just have to put that stuff out of your mind. You can't concentrate on it as a back, or you become freaked out, almost like in baseball where you get the yips. You just have to get past it. Coach Rhodes told us a couple days later he was past it.
Lanning to throw, steps up, goes deep, intercepted. West Virginia has the football. K.J. Dillon. And Dillon all the way up to the 40-yard line. That's Lanning's 3rd interception of the year.
And you just see the athleticism of K.J. Dillon. Here's a guy that can play with his hand in the ground. We saw him miss on a blitz a little bit earlier in the series. He can play in coverage. Pretty stout against the run at the linebacker level, and just did a great job of extending his body and getting out there. There's 2 receivers out there and 3 guys in the West Virginia zone, and Lanning throws that into traffic. I just don't think he saw K.J. Dillon, who made an athletic play.
Russell Shell in the backfield, but coming out to throw is Skyler Howard. He gets the first down, and it's Shelton Gibson inside the 25. Gibson could go. Gibson will score.
Well, that's a frustrating way for the game to start if you're the Cyclones, because they had a good stop, they were moving the ball, and then sudden change. K.J. Dillon with the interception, and Shelton Gibson just catches a pretty normal hitch route and takes it back underneath across the field. He has been one of the most consistent receivers for West Virginia this year, and the fastest guy on the team. He showed his speed there, streaking down the field.
Yeah, he leads the Big 12 in yards per catch, 22.5. One of the top receivers in college football in that category. Here is Lambert for the point after. And it all started with K.J. Dillon, who plays that spur position. You say that guy has to be smart.
He does all kinds of different things, and you see it there. There's no way to coach athleticism, and you see Dillon get up and snatch that ball and take it down the field, and then the touchdown. A broken tackle and a nice cut all the way across the field. 2 cuts there, Fizz, and he's still got the mouthpiece in. How can he breathe? Taking it to the house for the Mountaineers.
K.J. Dillon, he's a leader, a senior from the state of Florida, but he made the big interception, which led the way to Skylar Howard's touchdown toss to Shelton Gibson.
Oh, that's rough. Gibson, the long touchdown, and now he's got to run out there on the kickoff team. I hope he's a safety.
Well, you saw Wesley back deep to return. From the 3-yard line. The breaking free will be Bundridge, the return man for Iowa State.
Guess who made the tackle, Fizz?
And Shelton Gibson, the guy who scored the touchdown. And you just said, oh, and then he's got to go back on the field for special teams, and he makes the tackle.
He was a safety, but it leaked out to his side, and he had to go make the tackle. That's tough after you score a touchdown. Then you have to make a special teams tackle. Come on.
So Gibson has been the early star, a 60-yard touchdown reception, his 8th score this season. And this is a big game for West Virginia because they're moving up that bowl ladder with wins over Iowa State today and K-State next week. They could have 8 for the season and put them in pretty good bowl territory in the Big 12 Conference. They run to the left side. Mike Warren, their redshirt freshman who came in with over 1,200 yards rushing. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. I mean, Mike Warren, 3rd all-time among freshman running backs in Big 12 history with what he has done. They go his way again, and he slides up near the 1st down. Still needs about 1.5 yards.
3rd down and short situation. Let's see if they bring in Joshua Thomas, number 1, the short yardage back. Doesn't look like he's coming in.
Yeah, Warren goes 6 feet 200. Joshua Thomas 5'11", 225, and Thomas has been the hammer in the past. It's a veteran offensive line, a lot of seniors on that front. And we have movement, and a flag is down. Let's see if it's against the offense or if the defense was in that neutral zone.
Well, I don't know if anybody on that offensive line jerked their hand or anything like that, but Shaq Pettaway, number 36, looked like he got caught in the neutral zone there at the hand
Offside. Defense, number 36. 5-yard penalty. Yardage results in a 1st down.
You are correct, sir. It was Shaq Pettaway. And that hurts West Virginia because they had stopped them on that 3rd down.
Watch him come right with a hand clap. Oh. And then just a little early. He got a nice jump, but just a skosh early there. These are really aggressive linebackers. Pettaway, Barber, Kwiatkowski, and Dillon. All of them really good-looking players for the Mountaineers.
Iowa State with their 4th 1st down. And now Lanning to throw. Dumps it off the right side, and Thomas can't hold on.
I will say this, I like the comfort of Joel Lanning in the pocket there. He had some time, he was relaxed. You know, he just threw an interception, but he was able to work his progression all the way around to his outlet. Joshua Thomas, who just couldn't pick up the ball, and it was a good throw.
And Lanning has started at quarterback the last 4 games, led Iowa State to that incredible victory in his first career start versus Texas. They'll run the ball to Warren. And he gets about a good 6-7 yards in the play. We'll call it a 6-yard gain. And it'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, you watch Warren carry the ball. I mean, he probably is the guy that Paul Rhodes trusts the most with the football, and that's wild because he is a freshman. And you understand then, why he had the ball in his hands at the end of the Kansas State game. Just an unfortunate circumstance for the young man, but they have to trust him with the ball. He's their best ball carrier.
He needs one more yard to gain 1,300. And Lanning goes wide of the mark, even though Wesley was open, the sophomore from Markham, Illinois. It will be 4th down and a punting situation for the Cyclones.
A little inconsistent by Lanning off the top. He had a really nice play set up, like you said, Fizz. Wesley coming right out of that break, and the ball was just a little far for him. Lanning's got to settle down here on the road.
Paul got off to a hot start with Iowa State, and he said one of our keys is not only to get off to a hot start, but don't get behind too early because then the air could go out of the balloon. Very emotional coach. They've had big wins in the past. And this is West Virginia going down. Gary Jennings at the 15-yard line. We'll take a break. West Virginia early, 7-0 over Iowa State. West Virginia with a 7-0 lead. Petros, what are the 3 things you think are key for West Virginia?
Well, we've seen a little bit of already. We haven't seen enough of Wendell Smallwood. You got to put Iowa State on their heels with that run game, and Iowa State's been pretty good against the run so far. It's early. Skylar Howard's got to be better on intermediate routes. He just threw a touchdown on a hitch. That's pretty good. And Iowa State, pack it in. They've done a pretty good job of that so far.
Play action pass. Skylar Howard all kinds of time, but incomplete in his attempted pass to David Sills. This is a team, though, that's running the ball a lot. 983 yards and averaging 6 yards per carry their last 3 games. Holgerson has always been a pass-first guy, but because of personnel, he has really changed in November. And they will run the ball to the left side. This is Smallwood. Short gain of just 3 yards.
Well, you see these stats, the last 3 games, West Virginia has really fallen into their identity. But you see this Iowa State team is pretty committed to stopping the run. They have a pretty heavy box.
3 down linemen, but then they have that outside linebacker on the left side, Regan Northrup, ready to blitz. Northrup does rush. And the run by Howard. He's got the first down and slides near the 30.
And this is the little X factor that Skylar Howard brings to the game. He's an angry player, and he says he's an angry player, and he loves to run the ball. There you see the guard pulling around, and Howard does a great job just getting around that, being very patient, setting up the block behind Pankey, and getting to the house.
He's all about grit and determination. They'll go with the determination this time. Smallwood up near another first down as he's marked out near the 38. It is a first down for Wendell Smallwood.
And this is about the 4 quarters, that we've been talking about for Iowa State. It's not good enough just to stop the run on the first series or the first play. They're going to keep doing it the whole game because that's who they are. And here you see the 2 tailbacks in the formation, Shell and Smallwood. This is something we've seen in the last few weeks from West Virginia as well.
This time they will run Shell. He's more of the inside runner, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. But you were talking about the last 3 games. He's averaging close to 7 yards per carry in that span.
Yeah, and Kansas helps. Let's be honest. Kansas wasn't too interested in playing against West Virginia after the couple series of that game last week. And West Virginia had their way.
And Shell, who had the huge game last year against Iowa State in Ames with 146 yards, with another healthy gain and very close to a first down.
This is a big recruit, Russell Shell. I mean, we're talking about a guy that West Virginia really wanted. And as a redshirt junior, he hadn't really developed as a back the way they thought that he would. But playing behind Smallwood this year without a lot of pressure on him to gain the bulk of the yards, he really has flourished. And this is the kind of back that they need to get at West Virginia, the kind of recruit, a guy out of Pittsburgh who they brought here.
Another heavy load look. This time off tackle right side, and Shell will be stopped short of the line of scrimmage. And you're right about Shell, one of the top recruits. I mean, he transferred from Pitt, but he had 39 straight 100-yard games in high school, eclipsing former Sooner great Billy Sims' record of 38 set in 1975. That anytime you're in the company of Billy Sims, you're a great player. And the ball tipped and falls innocently near the 30-yard line. Good coverage from Kawan Floyd, senior from Los Angeles, went to Santa Monica Community College.
Crenshaw High School, all the way to Ames, Iowa. Crenshaw High, and there, nice play, getting that left hand up that's all wrapped up by Floyd and tapping the ball away. Wasn't a bad throw by Skylar Howard at all.
They spread everybody out. Blitz is on. Howard picks it up, throws over the middle, and they've got almost the first down before the slip by Dakeil Shorts. Dakeil broke the tackle, but as he turned, he slipped or would have had the first down.
Watch him get by the umpire right on the middle of the field. That's a natural pick play. And a good job of breaking the tackle and coming around very close here. But if you're West Virginia, you got to feel good about your ability to be heavy in the backfield and run the ball.
Particularly when they have Smallwood. He has been no worse than 5 yards per carry in any game this year. On fourth down, there is a timeout call. Dana Holgerson in his 5th year here in Morgantown. He's had 6 wins over top 25 opponents in 5 years at West Virginia.
There's the unofficial line there. Shorts, good job with his upper body to be physical, but just slips out from under him. And that looks like a pretty good spot. It should be about 6 inches short.
Almost a full yard short.
He deserved better on the spot.
I thought so too, because as he slipped, that ball hit closer to that 40-yard line. I didn't think his knee went down first. This will be, though, the 10th play of the drive. You have Shell, the power back, and Smallwood, the speed back. They're going with Smallwood right behind the quarterback, Skylar Howard.
And look out there.
Elijah Wellman is the fullback.
That's the guy I like talking about. Number 28, this fullback for West Virginia, has been a big part of their run game. Whether he cuts off the backside of a zone play or leads through. Here he is.
Watch how he heads up the middle, and they're going to go over him. And unable to get the first down is Smallwood. Well, it looked like Wellman got his man, but that front 5 could not keep out guys like Tucker and Pearson and Wagoner.
We talked about packing it in. That's a really nice stop by the Cyclones.
Time out of the field. Down defense. Back on the field as Lanning, the quarterback, hands that football off to Mike Warren. And the redshirt freshman has a short gain. It should be 2nd down and 7.
This is pretty good field position for Iowa State to start. Warren's got 7 carries, 38 yards on the game, so he's been grinding it out pretty well. They've got him in a pretty good rhythm. Now they have to find a comfort zone for Lanning, who's had a rough start here in Morgantown.
They've gone once to Lazard, who might be their top offensive player. And Lanning will keep it himself, and he gets it up to midfield. He'll still need another 2 yards for a first down.
Well, that's one way to get a quarterback going, getting hit in the chest. And this is a pretty good runner, 6'2", 232. The one thing that Paul Rhodes was talking about Lanning running the ball is that he's got a real big forward lean when he runs the ball. Reminds me a lot of Trevon Boykin when he started playing quarterback at TCU, former running back. Now, that's not Lanning, but he runs like a running back.
Big win for TCU in 2 overtimes over Baylor last night. Lanning dumps it off to the right side, and this is Trevor Ryan, and Ryan will get the first down.
That was a pretty wild-looking play. The big fake to Mike Warren, and everybody thought Warren had the first down, but he didn't. Lanning had the ball in his hand, and he just kind of flipped it out there in an unconventional style. That's a forward pass, but it was like an option pitch. K.J. Dillon there to push him out of bounds, but a really well-designed play by Coach Sturdy, the offensive coordinator.
Warren offset to the right of Lanning. Near the 42-yard line. Another play action. Lanning lets it rip. And it is Alan Lazard. We figured they would go to him shortly. This guy is so talented. Came in with 51 catches, just 4 shy of 100 in his young career.
His father was a co-captain of the 1993 Cyclones team. He's a local kid that a lot of people recruited, but decided to stay home in Ames and play for the Cyclones like his father. And he's been a big boost. And you got 3 big offensive stars on this team right now.
Warren will be stopped well shy of the first down marker. He'll lose yardage on the play, about a yard, making it 3rd down and 3. But by the way, Lazard, you saw that graphic. He's now caught a pass in 23 straight games, tied Otto Stowe's 1968 through 1970 record, where they love his future just a sophomore. Will they go to him here on 3rd and 3, or will they keep it in the ground? Thomas, the true freshman in the game, with Trevor Ryan. Complete first down. And Trevor Ryan has made 2 first down plays on this drive. One on the one where quarterback Lanning was hit and shuffled it ahead to Ryan, and now he threads the needle here.
Check this out, Fizz. Watch Lanning, just like you said, thread the needle. I mean, this is a great throw because there's a hit coming, and it is delivered by Harper. But just a great job of getting it over the head and over the linebacker, under the safety, and then you absorb the contact.
Now from the 22, Lanning will be sacked back at the 38-yard line. A huge sack by Kyle Rose, the nose tackle.
Kyle Rose is one of those tough guys, 6'4", 295, and he's been making some pretty athletic plays inside all game, and that was pretty athletic, getting just enough of Lanning's leg to get him down. First, he's on the upper body, slides down, and right there on the left foot is what really prevents Joel Lanning from getting outside and making a play. That's a good athletic quarterback and a nice play by the nose tackle.
4th sack of the year by Rose. Now 2nd down and 24. Lanning lets it rip. And he gets some yardage back to the 30. They do have a good field goal kicker in Cole Netton, whose long this year has been 51. Wesley with the catch. Third and 18 from the 30. They'll rush just 3. And Lanning will complete the pass to the 15-yard line, but still 3 yards shy of the first down. Well, one thing that Holgerson was concerned about was Iowa State, nothing to lose. We'll see a lot of trickery. Will they go for it on 4th down? Well, that will be the end of the first quarter as West Virginia has the lead on a 60-yard touchdown throw from Skylar Howard to Shelton Gibson. 7-0 West Virginia, FS1. College football presented by Kay Jewelers will return after these messages. College football, Steve Physiok, Petros Papadakis, West Virginia with a 7-0 lead. It is 4th down and 3 at the West Virginia 15-yard line for Iowa State. They will go for the field goal, and it will be Cole Netton. And the long snapper is Paul Rhodes' son, Jake. And he's done a good job this year. They travel, both Jake and Wyatt, Rhodes' sons, and Wyatt, a freshman on the team.
I wonder if they're roommates.
Well, it's first time on this travel squad. They've got everybody together, including wife Vicky here. We saw Vicky and Paul on the field. Field goal will come from 33 yards out. It is on the way, and it is good. And Iowa State on the scoreboard. Cole Netton with his 13th field goal this year. Last week, turnovers haunted them at Kansas State. Turnover in the first quarter hurt them again.
Yeah, the first to pick to K.J. Dillon, and I think that really kind of made Lanning jittery with the longer passes. He hasn't thrown anything or attempted anything that long since. Then you have the sudden change. Iowa State defense right off on the field, and Shelton Gibson with really an electric run to get the crowd here going in Morgantown. And that was pretty much it. It could have been worse, but Iowa State with a great stop on 4th down. That's their defensive leader, Levi Peters, who's had a very emotional week coming around and making the play. But really the star of that first quarter, Shelton Gibson with that beautiful run, and then the tackle on the kickoff right afterwards. Don't forget the special teams tackle.
I'd never forget it. Here's a look at that scoring drive. 10 plays, 43 yards. Net with the field goal. So now they will be kicking off. Jennings and Gibson are back deep. 1 yard deep. This is Gibson. And Gibson with a great first half. He had the 60-yard touchdown, and now he has a return of more than 50 yards. 53 yards and a terrific return by Shelton Gibson.
Well, they're loving it in Cleveland, Ohio, at Cleveland Heights High School, where Shelton Gibson came from. And he is the fastest player on the team. But look at these dead leg cuts that he makes right there to get himself free. Can't outrun the kicker, but what a great first half, like you said, for Shelton Gibson. I'd be tired. I mean, that's a lot of running.
And we have an injured player on the field for Iowa State. And that man is Trevor Ryan, who's really done a nice job. Offset as a slot back in this game. Twice on that last drive he had first down completions on 3rd down. And he will be helped from the field. That's a shame because he gave the Cyclones a great lift here in the first half.
You're going to see he's the guy right in front who goes down on the change of direction from Gibson. You know, they say the guy can
That's
really
a good move.
Sprain your ankles when you make a move. It rarely actually really happens.
Now they will run Skylar Howard. Short game past the 45-yard line. His lean does get him an extra 1 or 2. And it'll be 2nd down. About 6 yards to go. Shell in the backfield. Smallwood on the sideline. Howard to throw. Rifles it downfield. And it is incomplete. In and out of the hands at the 31-yard line. Javon Durant, the true freshman from Hollywood, Florida. They love his future.
Yeah, but he's had trouble catching the ball this year. They've had some drop problems with Durant. And frankly, all these wide receivers, especially the younger guys. But he's really a threat deep.
Now on 3rd down. The blitz is on. Howard unloads. And this time it will be caught by Shelton Gibson, who's been the star early.
Gibson doing a good job of getting down and catching that slant and securing the ball. Howard put it in a place where no one else was going to get it. Low and away. Oh, he really had to reach out for it.
Gain of 13. Now the run ball to Smallwood. And good power that time inside the 25-yard line. It was Russell Shell, I beg your pardon, from Hopewell, Pennsylvania.
There was a lot of celebration. We were talking earlier about Shell transferring from Pitt out here to West Virginia. Just a great deal of celebration when that happened. Can you imagine if they still played the backyard brawl?
Oh, man. I mean, he has over 2,000 yards rushing now in his career. Smallwood back in the game. Tried to get the first down, but a good tackle will prevent him from doing that. It will be 3rd down and 2 after the gain of just 1. Willie Harvey on that last tackle. Play action. Downfield they go. And almost intercepted.
Here's another tough situation for Dana Holgorsen. A 4th and short. Looks like they're going to kick it. There's the tip. And it really probably an ill-advised throw into kind of triple coverage. Shorts was well covered.
Is that a situation as a quarterback you've got to at least overthrow the guy? Let him make the great catch.
You overthrow him, there's somebody behind him.
Well, there was no safety behind him. Josh Lambert, field goal from 40 yards out. It is good, and West Virginia has reclaimed their 7-point lead. Welcome back to FS1 College Football presented by K Jewelers. We come to you from Morgantown, West Virginia. Beautiful campus, rated the #1 small town in America.
Really? Just beat out Murfreesboro?
Do you know who's voted the coolest town in America?
I would love to know.
Kansas City.
Like as far as the weather goes?
No, they just called it the coolest town in America. And I agree because that's where I live.
Well, if you're there, it must be.
Hey, there you go. Skyler Howard talking with Dana Holgorsen, who has been a passing master in his past. Nick O'Toole with the kickoff. Iowa State on the return. And the Cyclones will have the football out past their 15-yard line. Now it's time for a Lowe's game break. Here's Jenny Taft.
Steve, thanks. Number 8, Ohio State visiting number 10, Michigan. The Buckeyes have won 10 of the last 11 games in this series. Off to a good start as J.T. Barrett finds a lane. 7 yards for the score. Ohio State strikes first. It's 7-0 in the second quarter. Steve Petros, I'll keep you posted.
Thank you very much. Who will meet Iowa for that Big Ten championship? So many teams battling to be in that Final Four.
Yeah, the Big Ten's been a lot of fun to watch this year. And it's really funny because last year around mid-October, maybe the beginning of November, everybody had written off the conference.
Well, all I can tell you is those Hawkeyes, all they do is win 11-0 after beating Nebraska yesterday. We'll be right back.
Get exclusive access to once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Well, Sean Walters, the injured player, he went off under his own power. We hope to see him back. Mike Warren in the backfield. The talented freshman from Lawton, Oklahoma. Walters, that you see, trying to walk things off along the West Virginia sideline. And they will give the football to Warren, who sweeps left side, has an angle, and gets the first down out near the 30-yard line.
You know, with a young back who takes his shoulders and points him toward the sideline, you expect him just to keep going and be run all the way out of bounds. Now, Warren never really put his foot in the ground and took it up the field at the defense, but a nice angle, like you said, Fizz, to get himself very close to that first down marker, and now a very makeable second down with the playbook wide open for offensive coordinator Todd Sturdy.
Side judge marked him out just shy. He had searched forward past the 30, but they say he stepped out left foot at the 26-yard line. And they will give it right back to Warren. And this time, Mike does slam forward and gets the first down to the 29.
Nice play there by Noble Wachiku coming down the line on that gap scheme to get Warren. And here's what you see Warren's production is. Fresh legs, how we used to call all the guys that didn't practice that much, MC Fresh Legs. But you see there what he did against Kansas State and what he did against Texas Tech. That's the most by a running back as a freshman in FBS history.
Now 48 yards rushing. Lanning goes back to the air but throws it away. And Mike, really a great story, Petros, because he was a military kid, moved all the time growing up, and when he got to Lawton, Oklahoma, didn't start as a junior, and Iowa State had developed a relationship with him, and then as a senior he has this monster year and everybody's after him. Ran for over 2,600 yards in Iowa State because of a great friendship between the running backs coach Lou Ayeni, who came from Toledo, who had been in on them earlier. They were able to get Warren to come to Ames. Lanning will keep it. Not much. 3rd down and long.
That's the Mike linebacker, Jared Barber, who's been really one of the emotional leaders of this team, especially since Carl Joseph went down early in the season, who's probably arguably the best defender in the Big 12. But Barber's been that guy to keep these guys going. Very stout there in the run game against Lanning.
3rd and 9. Iowa State 3 for 5 and converting 3rd downs today. A.J. Dillon was showing blitz momentarily. Now he drops off. And there is a timeout call. And it's by Iowa State.
First charge timeout.
And we'll take the break with West Virginia leading Iowa State 10-3.
Henry for Alabama, just a representation for a great team. And since Baylor lost last night, I have to ask Joel Klatt if I can get rid of the Baylor guy and replace him with the Oklahoma guy, Baker Mayfield.
Oklahoma and Oklahoma State tonight for the Big 12. Lanning on 3rd and long. It is intercepted. Darryl Worley, the junior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and that's the 2nd interception by Joel Lanning.
Well, since they've had Terrell Chestnut back the other corner and Darryl Worley, they've become a very difficult team to throw on the outside to. And this is now Lanning's 2nd interception. Not an easy thing for a young player on the road. And you just see Worley. He's 6'1", 202, but he's got very long arms. We had a chance to meet him earlier in the season. And he's one of those emotional leaders, an older guy on this West Virginia defense. They have a lot of them, and you can see they all step up and make a lot of plays.
And Tony Gibson was concerned about that, the defensive coordinator for West Virginia. He said, the small cornerbacks that we have against the tall Iowa State receivers, but Lanning has to make a proper throw as Gibson with yet another catch.
Yeah, he's having a very productive day so far. Shelton Gibson, very sure-handed, and Howard's done a pretty good job in the intermediate routes like we talked about at the top.
Gibson 3 catches, 78 yards. They have a running back wide open, and now it will be Skylar Howard going down near the 40-yard line. But he had a running back first open on the screen, and then he released deep, and he was even more wide open.
Yeah, Russell Shell was out there for him, and he just couldn't end up pulling the trigger on the decision. But that's not a bad thing, just to tuck the ball and take it out of bounds and live and fight for this 3rd and about half of it. 5.
He could have looped the ball and just let Shell run under it. Howard, plenty of time. Rips it for the 1st down at the 24-yard line. Gibson again, his 4th catch. He now has 30 on the year.
Well, Howard's becoming a lot more comfortable. Right there, he had an open lane to take it for the 1st down, but ended up stopping and throwing a strike to Gibson.
Shell, not much, still will be short of the 1st down.
And you notice, even though West Virginia is a running team primarily, and we've talked a whole lot about it, they still can play with a lot of pace. I mean, this is still a Dana Holgorsen coach team, and they still know how to play very quickly. So you see him coming right off that 1st down and immediately getting the ball in the hands of Shell. Even though it's not much of a gain or any at all, it still keeps the defense on their heels.
Shell right behind Howard. He'll try the middle, but the defense is there to wrap him up, led by Jordan Harris, Levi Peters, and J.D. Wagoner.
Yeah, and it was really Damon Tucker, the nose guard, number 97, that had the penetration that made Shell stop his feet in the backfield. When you're playing against a team that runs a lot of zone, which is a kind of run play that's more of a flowing type of play, if you can penetrate, that zone is killed. A lot of other running plays, if you penetrate, those guys can run right by you.
Howard on 3rd down, fires it for the 1st down inside the 15. Jordan Thompson, the slot receiver from Katy, Texas. West Virginia now 4 for 7 on 3rd down, and they're going to go with the hurry up. Shell bangs his way to the 10.
Well, you can tell the Cyclones here, Steve, are very much committed to stopping West Virginia's run. They don't want to be beaten by West Virginia's run game. And Matt Leinart said it before the game. They want Skylar Howard to throw the ball and beat him. The fact is, though, that they're staying with the run game, keeping the Iowa State defense honest, and Howard's done a great job of finding people in those small intermediate routes and keeping this drive alive. Pretty impressive.
Shell stays in as the running back. And we have whistle and a flag going. I'm not sure if there was a full start.
Full start.
Yep.
Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Marcel Lazar, the sophomore from Bloomfield, New Jersey, was the guy who moved too early, so it'll be second down and long. Shell remains in as the running back. Wellman is offset on the wing left side. Play action. Howard rips it to the right side, and the catch is made, but just a short game for DeKeel Shorts. But there is a flag on the play. That's our referee, Dan Romeo.
Romeo.
Ineligible downfield. Offense. Number 77. That penalty is declined. Third down.
That's 2 in a row for Marcel Lazard, but that one gets declined because of the short gain by DeKeel Shorts. And here's a third long situation. Be interesting to see what the Mountaineers do. Remember, Howard's been pretty clean throwing the football throughout the afternoon.
He has himself a 3rd down and 8, and his offensive line has done a marvelous job protecting him. He's looping an end zone left for Shelton Gibson, who is out of bounds when he made that catch. Gibson going for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
Well, he really gave himself a lot of space there. And Howard put it out pretty nicely. Gibson able to loop toward that sideline. Can't get that back leg back in time. But not a bad idea by West Virginia. And here's the kicker.
Lambert from 30 yards out made his first.
That's a big tattoo for a kicker.
It's all in. And he pushes it through, and West Virginia now has a 10-point lead. It doesn't look like an island off the coast of Greece. No, I forgot that's on your back. Rob, thank you very much. A lot of rivalry games on this day, and following our game, they'll have Kansas and Kansas State, Jayhawks and Wildcats. Here in West Virginia, they're hosting Iowa State, a team they beat last year, but the only time that Iowa State played here, they pulled off a thrilling come-from-behind upset of the Mountaineers. Lambert with the field goal from 30 yards out. And now Nick O'Toole will be kicking off.
The best punter slash kicker beard in all of college football there, Chris. Sorry.
It is. Wiltz will go to one knee, and let's go to Jenny Tapp for a game break about the Clemson game.
Thanks, Steve. Well, as you know, that #1 Clemson team trying to keep their undefeated streak alive, visiting South Carolina. Deshaun Watson gets things going, leaping in for that 5-yard touchdown. And, of course, the Tigers now lead 7-0.
They play with such confidence week in, week out. The believability on that football team is incredible at Clemson.
Well, that's a hard thing when you're undefeated. It's just keeping everybody up for every game. With the young guys in college, it's a tough task.
Now on first down, Iowa State trying to stay within striking distance of West Virginia. And as we take a look at the college football rankings and the teams trying to get into that Final Four picture, Clemson right at number 1.
Yeah.
And prior to the game yesterday, Baylor and TCU, and of course TCU won in 2 overtimes. Oklahoma will be at Oklahoma State later tonight, landing on the keeper, close to a first down, still needs a couple of feet.
You just wonder not who's going to get in anymore when it comes to the college football playoff, but who's going to get left out, and whether or not their argument is valid. And I think they love the argument.
Lanning and some of the coaches we talked to this week about tonight's Oklahoma State game, all of them favored Oklahoma. I mean, in resounding fashion.
I think it's because of their run game, because of P. Ryan and Mixon, and obviously Baker Mayfield's ability to elude and get stuff going on 3rd down. And Oklahoma plays defense first, even though they're kind of an air raid team and they have that run game. They're going to be tough to beat, even in Stillwell.
Landing on 1st down, fires it up near a 1st down. I believe he'll be a little bit short as the catch was made at the 45, and then he was immediately hit by Darryl Worley, the cornerback, and Quentin Bundridge is closing in on 40 catches on the year.
They got to do a good job of getting Joel Lanning settled down a little bit. He's had 2 picks in this game. He hasn't looked his confident self. He's not running or throwing with the same confidence that we're used to seeing in the last few weeks, probably in large part due to this West Virginia defense that's one of the best in the Big 12. He's only 7 of 13 with the 2 picks, 74 yards.
They'll run the left side to Warren, and a great defensive play by West Virginia. And that is Nick Kwiatkowski and Jared Barber.
Jared Barber, we talked about his emotional leadership. Number 42 right there in the middle. And just great pursuit to the edge to catch up with Warren. That's just a great tackling angle. Wraps him up with his feet and his fingers. Takes him down. Big 3rd down.
Iowa State 4 for 7 on 3rd down. Lanning checks off. Joel loops it downfield, incomplete. He was looking for Lazard at first.
Well, we were talking about Lanning's struggles a little bit on this series. A couple of picks and just does not look himself. You know, the funny thing is they don't really have a lot to lose. We talked about the Cyclones and just coming out here and playing one for Coach Rhodes. And Lanning's just got to relax and start ripping that ball down the field. They have the weapons to do it. And you see they're just a little bit confused there on that Iowa State sideline right now.
And they are going to go for it. This is the trickery we heard they might do. And immediately they get that 1st down on 4th down and short. We were wondering when we'd see that first trick play.
Well, they didn't have much to lose, and you see it right there. Taking it right into the teeth.
And that's Sam Richardson, who is their backup quarterback, who has been a starter throughout his career. I mean,
they
he's
snuck him out there on the
field.
Yeah, this guy's been playing a lot of football at Iowa State for his whole career. Finally lost his job.
No, it's Kramer. I beg your pardon. He wears the same number as Richardson, number 12.
There you go.
So I beg your pardon. Christian Brown all over the Iowa State quarterback. A loss of 7 on the play. 2nd down and long, and Lanning has had a tough time going through the air. Screen pass left side. Mike Warren on the catch, but the defense making the play.
Nice pursuit by Isaiah Bruce, the defensive end, getting behind Warren there and making a play. And when you have D ends and D linemen and they're willing to run like that in the pass game, playing with a pretty good motor. Means you got a good defense. And now after the punt, with the punter taking it into the A-gap and all the excitement, 3rd and long again.
Lazard on the bottom of the screen. He's 6'5", 3rd down and 10. Lanning eludes 1. Now he'll run. Dives for the first down, but I believe he'll be marked well shy. Well, they went for it on 4th down and 2. Now inside West Virginia territory. Would they go for it on 4th down on the long 3?
All right, now who's the punter? Is it the punter? Yeah, it's a punter. I think he's going to kick it this time, Fizz.
And I believe West Virginia will be ready for him just in case.
Well, how many fake punts do you have in the game plan? Well, that's the question.
Yep. 2:18 left in the clock, and West Virginia calling timeout.
30-second timeout.
So West Virginia leading by 10. They've scored just 1 touchdown. It came through the air. Skylar Howard to Shelton Gibson, 60 yards in the first quarter. Paul Rhodes coaching his final game as the Cyclone head coach. And Paul Rhodes' first 4 years, he went to bowl games 3 of his first 4 years, and then all of a sudden difficulty, whether it was recruiting or injuries, but they could not finish off close games.
Yeah, snake bit, hard luck, you know, things like that come to mind. He's certainly a very likable football coach. The guys on his team love playing for him. He's a guy that loves players and really connects with what they're doing. And I think they really do put players first in this program. And that's not an easy thing to do and not always popular with the administration. But it's very interesting because there's a lot of argument on whether or not Paul Rhodes should have been fired. But they're letting him coach his final game.
How about this? They're going to try it again. And timeout called. Well, they are forcing West Virginia to use their timeouts. Holgerson 2 in the last 1 minute of this game. And the timeout was called by Iowa State, I beg your pardon. The Cyclones call the timeout. Well, coming up, it's the State Farm FS1 College Football Halftime Show with Rob Stone, Dave Wanstadt, and Matt Leinart in Los Angeles. And we were talking about Paul Rhodes. Since the formation of the conference, Petros, Iowa State is the only Big 12 team to ever lose 2 straight games when leading by 10 or more points in the fourth quarter of each game. They've done that against Oklahoma State and Kansas State recently.
And how do you pinpoint it? I mean, you can look at the tape and say these 5 or 6 plays are why we lost the game. Is that because of the head coach? Is that because of the players? Is that a coordinator issue? Obviously, they made a coordinator change with Mangino earlier this year. It's tough to say.
Well, they showed fake. Now they'll move up into a punting situation, and they're going to throw the football. And it's going to be caught for a first down. Can you believe that? That was a dying duck, and it found the right nest. Incredible.
That was one of the more awkward-looking fake punts that I've ever seen.
Garo Yepremian completes a pass.
And you had the other fake punt, which was almost as awkward. And this ball just hanging up there for everybody. 3 very talented West Virginia defenders in the area, including Kwiatkowski and Barber. And that ball's batted around a little bit.
And Kane Seeley comes down with it for the Iowa State first down at the 148 mark.
Well, 2 timeouts later, they finally got the right play call, and they did shift into like a pooch punt formation. This punter getting a lot of run.
Yeah, he's running up the middle. He's throwing a wobbly duck. And obviously, Seeley bailed him out. It was almost like throwing a really good fastball hitter, a changeup that comes in so slowly, it looked like all the defenders were off balance.
Yeah, I don't know why they saw that in practice and thought it looked good. Maybe it looked better in practice, but it absolutely worked. There, Seeley goes up to get it. It took him about 3 tries to catch it. And again, all 3 of those West Virginia defenders were kind of caught off guard, like you said, by just how poor the pass was.
Kramer. First down, Iowa State. Lanning in trouble, and down he goes at midfield. Noble Wachuku. His 7.5 sack this year.
Big leader for this team. Really a great player coming off the edge. Wachuku, the best player probably on the front for West Virginia. Most of their stars are in the secondary and at the linebacker position, but he's been good, and he made sure he got him down.
Third sack of the day. Now they'll run the screen pass to Mike Warren, and he won't get much. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1.
You have the nose tackle, Kyle Rose, all the way out there, recognizing screen right away. This is a good West Virginia defense. Very disciplined. Kwiatkowski was out there at the same time. And here it is after 2 fake punts. Another third and almost unmakeable situation.
Lazard at the top of your screen. Will they go to the 6'5" talented athlete? He is in single coverage. Lanning drops back. Going downfield. Completes the pass for the first down. Man, as Iowa State come up with big plays. And this time it's the senior Bundridge.
Bundridge, a lot like that backup quarterback, Sam Richardson, played a lot of football here.
Well, West Virginia was still trying to get a player on the field defensively, and when they snapped the football, he was on the Iowa State side.
There is no foul on the play. Prior to the snap, second final charge on West Virginia.
I think the captain realized we only have 10 in the field, and our 11th is racing in the field. We better call a timeout. And we will take a break as well here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Dana Holgerson's team leads by 10. West Virginia by 10, but Iowa State knocking on the door. Just 27 seconds remaining in the first half. This will be the 15th play of this drive. 14 plays this far for 49 yards. Twice they've converted 4th down plays in a punting situation. And will Iowa State be able to come up with points? Lanning steps up. All kinds of time. Now he roads, and he loops it to the left, incomplete. That's great coverage by the defensive backfield. Isaiah Bruce at the end got into Lanning's face. I keep thinking they're going to go to Lazard. Even a jump ball at 6'5" against a 5'10", 6-foot cornerback.
It's been happening throughout the game. West Virginia really doing a great job disguising coverage and keeping kind of a cloud or a safety or an extra guy over Lazard.
Lanning a decoy this time as Bundridge gets it, breaks free, and will get to first down to the 15-yard line. The clock down to 9 seconds left. They're going to have to spike it to stop the clock. There is a flag down.
A little bit of a scuffle there after Bundridge caught that ball across the middle. Looks like they're really decoying Lazard way on the other side of the formation and working Bundridge. They've had some success doing that on the last couple 3rd downs.
Iowa State out of timeouts. What, one shot into the end? It's got to be into the end zone, though.
They have to try it. See if there's going to be a personal foul or what the situation here is.
Gosh, awfully silly foul at such a critical time in the game.
The result of the play was a first down. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 78. That's a 15-yard penalty. It'll still be 1st and 10. That's number 78's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul in the game.
Wendell Tyesi, and he should know better. He's a redshirt senior, 5th year.
Well, here he is. He's trying to help Bundridge up, and pushes the back of the head of Kwiatkowski. There it is. Oh, the push to the back of the head. There it is. A gentle slap, but worth 15 yards.
was it? He was trying to help his friend up, and the opponent wouldn't let him go. So now, with 9 seconds left, they've got to take a shot at the end zone, and once again you wonder if it will be to Lazard.
Another flag.
Cyclones hurting themselves. No flag, they say. Lanning again has had 2 interceptions in the second half. The first led to the first score by West Virginia. Now Lanning will line up. Looks like they're in a running situation, but again they have no timeouts left. He does run, goes down to one knee.
Trying to center the ball for the kicker.
Yeah, they had 0 timeouts on the field for Iowa State, but apparently they had 1 left. So they set up in the middle of the field to go for the field goal, and this will be from some nearly 50 yards out. Cole Netton, in his career coming into today's game, 36 for 49, made his first 37 for 50 now in his career, with a career long of 51 against Oklahoma. This will be from 50.
2 fake punts to get to this point.
Number 1, Cole Netton. On the attack for 50-yard field goal.
Dead, solid, perfect. And that is our first half. Paul Rhodes wraps his arms around Cole Netton, who hammers one from 50 yards out. It's halftime with the score West Virginia 13, Iowa State 6. Right now, let's head to Rob Stone and Los Angeles.
All right, Steve, thank you.
Welcome back to FS1 College Football, presented by Kay Jewelers. West Virginia by 7 over Iowa State. Steve Visiak, Petros Papadakis with you here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Despite being on the field for 19 of the 30 minutes in the first half, West Virginia's defense has done a great job.
Well, they're probably, like we said, the best defense in the Big 12. They have the playmakers to prove it, and you saw it happening. First Lanning with the pick to K.J. Dillon, who's a big leader in their secondary as the spur player. Rose, the nose tackle, with a nice sack. And then the other pick by Worley, the long-arm cornerback. They created a lot of opportunities for the West Virginia offense. And speaking of opportunities, this is pretty much the most exciting sequence for Iowa State. He got Kramer, the punter, taken into the A-gap. Same series, he converts that one. Then they shift to another fake punt and end up calling a timeout.
Thank you.
And then they run another, inexplicably, another fake punt with the throw to the outside that's barely caught. This, perhaps the ugliest catch in the history of fake punts. And a wild, wild sequence for Iowa State. And all that got them 3, but they're still in the game. It's been a defensive battle, and they've been great against West Virginia's rush.
From the 1-yard line, Iowa State will bring it back. And they muscle it out to the 25, 26-yard line as we take a look at the first half stats of this afternoon's ball game. 2 costly interceptions by Joel Lanning really hurt the Cyclones.
Well, and that's exactly what West Virginia's defense is designed to do, is force turnovers and create energy and hit sideline to sideline. And they've done a good job and really kept Joel Lanning off kilter in this game. He just hasn't looked like himself. He's a much more explosive, exciting player on tape than he is here in Morgantown so far. But he's got to have to clean it up.
Iowa State has averaged 415 yards total offense in Joel's last 4 games, but a very poor first half. And the Cyclones only with 6 first half points.
Another great play by Christian Brown. The defensive line for West Virginia has been great. Iowa State's not been able to get much of a push to get Mike Warren going, and Christian Brown there with a stout tackle. They've had a lot of performers on this defense for Tony Gibson, their coordinator.
On 2nd down and 8. Lanning will throw it to Alan Lazard, and Lazard will get that first down and more near the 40-yard line. Now, Iowa State has gotten off to fast starts in ball games recently and then faded. They led K-State 35-14 before a barrage of turnovers in the second half, and those are the things that Lanning must clean up.
Now, you wanted Lazard to get the ball in the first half here, Fizz. Here he is running in the second. Look at this violent straight arm against K.J. Dillon, who ends up making the play.
First down at the 42. A good run off the right side by Warren. And today, as we told you at the start of the show, Paul Rhoads is coaching his final game at Iowa State. He was an assistant coach for the Cyclones from 95 to 99. Assistant coach at UOP, Pittsburgh, and Auburn, and then came back home. And he has been with the Cyclones since 2009, but been through tough times in the last 3 years. And fired on Sunday, but agreed to coach this final game. I mean, he is all about respect and handle this entire week with grace.
Yeah, very graceful, very classy. Didn't get down in the mud with some others who have tried to disparage the program over the last couple of weeks, but I think he's handled himself very well, and I think he's going to make a fine coach for somebody else.
3rd down, a long one. Lanning will run now, optioned it off to Warren, and Warren will not get the first down. Very good defensive play by Drayvon Askew-Henry, their free safety.
Yeah, you can't really play it much better than that. First, it starts with Noble Wachuku, number 97, with the violent hit on Lanning there. And you got to make the quarterback pay if he's going to pitch it out there. And then Askew-Henry cleans it up with his responsibility of the pitch man. You can't play that option play much better than the West Virginia D. And we've been pretty hard on Lanning this afternoon because he hasn't played well. He's not been explosive, but that's in great part to this West Virginia D, one of the better defenses I'm sure that he's seen all year.
Yeah, and Wachuku with just a crushing blow.
If he comes down the line at you, Fizz, and he might pitch it or he might keep it, you've got to put it in his head. And now I'm going to say this. If this is a 4th down situation, which I believe it is, even though they're measuring, we got to watch out for the fake punt. I don't know how many more they have.
You think we've been tipped off? Well, they still have the offense out there. They want to see how far they need to go for the first down. It's only a yard, but it's a long yard, and Paul has not sent his punting team out yet.
I am being told by an Iowa State official that there are 2 more fakes in the playbook. So we've seen the run, we've seen the pass. Who knows what the other 2 could be? So keep your eyes open.
We shall. Well, Paul Rhoads had 2 fake punts that led to that last score, a field goal from 50 yards out by Cole Netton. They keep the offense out there. They're going for it on 4th down, a long one. The bell tolls here in Morgantown. Warren, no, he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And it is Wachuku again. Go do the Wachuku that you do so well. FS1 college football. Iowa State trailing West Virginia 13-6. I am impressed with this Mountaineer defense.
Yeah, watch Wachuku. This is the third down play up against the option. Wachuku, who's the left defensive end, is going to come. And look at the pursuit coming from the top of the formation. Askew Henry with the big hit right before the sticks to prevent the first down, and then they go for it on fourth down. Warren's a good physical back, but the penetration again by Wachuku till his friends show up. Great defense by the Mountaineers.
Wendell Smallwood on the carry for West Virginia. And Iowa State's defense has done a terrific job. We told you last 3 games, West Virginia has been averaging 6 yards per carry, only 2.8 against defensive coordinator Wally Burnham's Cyclone D, and incomplete. It'll be third down.
Wally Burnham had a pretty good handle on his coaching career. He's been doing it a long time, and we had a nice conversation with him the other day just about, you know, what's next for him, and he still wants to coach. You know, a lot of these guys still believe in what they're doing, and you know, it's always hard when you lose a coach. And big credit to the Cyclones for staying together the way they have.
Howard on third down will scramble and be taken down at the 46-yard line. So there's no quit, and Iowa State. Trent Taylor coming up with a sack.
Big D end out of Florida. That's his 3rd TFL of the year. First sack. The Mountaineers got to give it up.
Nick O'Toole will be punting to Alan Lazard. Lazard stands at his 10-yard line. He'll let it go, and it will get into the end zone. First down for Iowa State when we come back. Good D by the Cyclones. They have not quit. College football, West Virginia leading Iowa State, and Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. Steve Physiak, Petros Papadakis here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Mountaineers lead by 7 in search of win number 7, but Iowa State on offense, and Lanning back to throw. Incomplete. Intended for Joshua Thomas, and Lanning had all kinds of time and then threw it right at the feet of Thomas.
Yeah, the play was designed to go to the flat on the right side, and Lanning didn't like what he saw over there, so he took it back all the way to the edge, and by the time he made it all the way to the other side of his progression, he was a little jittery, and that has been the theme throughout the afternoon for Joel Lanning. Just does not look like the confident quarterback he's played like the last couple weeks.
Well, they have a very capable backup in senior Sam B. Richardson. Lanning fires it left, completes it. Darrell Worley on the tackle, as the catch was made by Quentin Bundridge, playing his final game as a Cyclone.
Both teams having a really hard time running the ball so far in this game. 2.4 yards. They're both averaging per rush, and that is low, especially for this West Virginia team, and for ISU as well because of the tailback.
Warren dropping off for the pass. They throw underneath. It is incomplete. Fourth down. Good coverage by linebacker Nick Kwiatkowski, along with Terrell Chestnut and Terrell Richard Sr. from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. He's their best.
Well, you know they want to get it to Lazard. He's their biggest, most physical guy, but if he's going to take it in there, not only does he have Chestnut on his back, the corner, but he's got to deal with the linebacker too, who is in a good position, Kwiatkowski. Not a lot of chance for that ball to be completed by Lanning, and a nice series by West Virginia's defense.
Dillon back for the return. Calls for the fair catch and will make it at the 32-yard line.
Dramatically make it. The ball knocked him over.
little off balance. But just the way Richardson has played so many starts in his Iowa State career, you think they would think about him over Lanning?
You know, you think they would, but what Paul Rhodes was telling us was that Lanning is the future of this Iowa State team. Not to mention Mike Warren, the great tailback, only a freshman, and Lazard, who's only a sophomore. I mean, this is not a bare cupboard. Paul Rhodes is leaving, and somebody's going to reap the benefits of some really talented players.
Flag is down as Howard goes deep, but it looks to be holding against West Virginia. And Paul Rhodes told us earlier in the week, Petros, that had we been able to...
Offense, number 62, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Had we been able to get a couple more victories this year, he really felt that if we could get to 2016, we'd be at Iowa State for a long time.
Yeah, and, you know, it's kind of like Moses, you know. He gets to lead the people to the promised land, but he doesn't get to cross the River Jordan. And you sort of look at Paul Rhodes' situation like that because the future's pretty bright looking at some of these players for the Cyclones.
They have 3 wins thus far, and that's it. Howard downfield again, and it's intercepted. Iowa State with the pickoff. Kawan Floyd, the strong safety.
Yeah, he did a good job getting over there and laying out to make the play. West Virginia was pretty set on throwing that ball deep even after the holding penalty. They go for it again. Nobody really bites on the play action to Smallwood. And that's just a great athletic play. Could have been a little bit more air under the ball for Howard, who's a pretty good deep ball thrower. Trying to get the ball to Jordan Thompson. But Floyd with unbelievable stretch with a bad hand making a really spectacular play.
That was special because he had great catch-up speed on it. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. 1 lone setback, no tight ends. And they run straight up the middle. And Warren with a short gain.
Now that's a nice gain on first down for the Cyclones. And Warren has kept running the ball hard, kept getting positive yardage throughout the game. Let's see if they can take advantage of that turnover and a nice run on first down. 2nd and short here.
Lanning holds on to it and then throws it away. It will be 3rd down.
And another big 3rd down situation the Cyclones find themselves in. They just can't get in front of those sticks. This West Virginia defense has been too stingy.
Showing blitz. Yes, here they come. Lanning steps up and down he goes. Boy, they just completely collapsed that pocket.
Yeah, it looked like K.J. Dillon was the guy that flashed in front of Lanning and caused him to start pushing up. The problem was he pushed up right into that defensive line with a really nice push. They bring Barber, too, up the middle, but it was Dillon that almost got home, and Lanning just took it right up into the teeth of that line and had no chance. Another fine stand by the Mountaineers.
Petros, are you surprised that they went to the air after Warren got 6 on first down?
You know, they're trying to run their offense. I understand, but they're only down 7. I think they should stick with that run game, but nobody's had a lot of success running the ball today, either team.
Fair catch by Dillon. Well, he lets the ball go. He just decoyed them, and it does go into the end zone, and it will be a touchback. Now it's time for a game break on that Ohio State-Michigan game with Jenny Taft.
Well, Steve, this one was close going into the half, but the Buckeyes answer back quickly in the 3rd. J.T. Barrett connects with Jalen Marshall, 25-yard touchdown, and Ohio State leads Michigan 21-10. Steve Petros, back to you.
Who's going to play Iowa for that Big Ten championship? Hawkeyes won yesterday over Nebraska in a thriller. And now running left is Smallwood. Wendell averaged just 2.6 yards per carry in the first half, and for the season he's averaging just under 7.
You know, we talked in the open about Smallwood's ability to run the ball on the inside, but that just has not been there. Those A gaps between the center and guard have been full. A little softer on the edge for him.
Howard wants to go deep again. Wide open is Gibson. He'll make the catch and go out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
He was the playmaker in the first half for the Mountaineers, and he does it again against Jamal Wiltz. Really just left him. Let's see if it's a double move. Yeah, it's a slant and go. And Gibson, again, doing a really good job of creating space to the sideline to where he could fade out so Howard could throw that ball away from the defense. Just really well executed. I told you, Skylar Howard could throw a pretty good deep ball.
Well, that play action absolutely bit the defense, and Gibson can't get more wide open. He'll run Smallwood, but I will say this, for Gibson, a career game. He has a career-high 146 yards on 5 receptions.
Now, here's the play action, and while this play action is happening, to Shell, it's a double move by Gibson, which kind of puts the corner in no man's land because he might be staring into the backfield, and he had plenty of space.
Play action, Howard, all kinds of time. Now he'll roll right, loop it, end zone, incomplete. Intended for Smallwood.
Well, that was a broken play. West Virginia pretty well covered over the middle by the Cyclones defense off the top, and Smallwood was the outlet guy, and he just took off for the end zone. So a good idea between him and Skylar Howard, but just incomplete because the coverage was there.
There's his game thus far. He had that 53-yard kickoff return, but 146 yards receiving, a career best. Shell in the game now, but it's 3rd down. He's likely in there to block. The pass thrown incomplete, intended for Gibson. Good coverage this time by Iowa State's Jamal Wiltz.
And I'm not sure if that ball was high or if it was there, but certainly there was an opportunity for Gibson to make that catch. Good protection on the play action. Like you said, Fish, Shell was in there to cut off the backside. And there's a little bit of traffic there, but it hit Gibson on both hands. And Howard takes a hit for it.
So now from 34 yards out, West Virginia will try and reclaim their 10-point lead. Lambert perfect today. Got it. He was one of the nation's best last year and came into the season as a Lou Groza finalist as the top kicker in college football. But ankle and groin injuries have set him back. Meantime, Gibson, the star of the Mountaineer League. West Virginia with a 10-point lead over Iowa State. 3 field goals by their excellent kicker, Josh Lambert. And now Iowa State will receive. Jamal Wiltz back deep. Gibson, he stays in all the time. The only thing he's not playing is defense today. He's been on special teams. He's made excellent contributions offensively. So Javon Wesley has also gone back deep for the return. And Wiltz is to the near side. Iowa State needs some kind of breakaway. There it is. That is a great beard. All he needs is a musket.
I know where he could find one.
Yep. It's Wiltz on the return. Out past the 20. Wow! Is he hit? There's a fumble, but it looks like Iowa State got it back. Man, you talk about a crack. Bam.
That was Hadari Christian with the hit on special teams, number 44, and that ball came out. Now, Iowa State got back on top of it, but, man, we see a lot of hits in the kicking game and a lot of injuries, too. And that'll take your confidence away as a returner in a hurry. Oof.
So now Cyclones with not much movement here in the second half. They have only 6 points for the game. Came in at 3 and 8 on the year. Lanning fires and completes the pass. A good move by Quentin Bundridge, and he escapes, and Darryl Worley finally pushes him out of bounds.
Iowa State's had a lot of trouble on the road. As you can see, they've lost 9 straight road games. That's not all on Joel Lanning. Of course, it's never all on the quarterback, but we'll see if he can get it going through the air. Really, the only success he's had consistently is getting the ball to number 9, Quentin Budrick.
Well, that pick did not work. The defender completely pushed away the block, but they are able to get the first down. And it's Quentin Bundridge, the senior from Palmetto, Florida. You want those guys you can count on, and he's a guy with over 100 receptions in his career.
And they seem to be going for the opposite side of the field constantly. The opposite side that Alan Lazard is on. They've just been working the other side.
Very close to another first down is Joel Lanning. He does get the first.
And that's a little bit more of the explosion that you see in the legs of Joel Lanning. 6'2", 232 pounds, and right through the contact zone, he ran fearlessly.
15th first down for Iowa State, but only 6 points, and now Bundridge can't hold on.
Well, he liked the matchup. He had Bundridge up against the Mike linebacker, Jared Barber, and threw a pretty good pass, but right there waiting to hit him was K.J. Dillon, and that may have had something to do with Bundridge not pulling it in.
It's 2nd and 10 for Joel Lanning, the sophomore quarterback. They run left. Warren, short gain. He muscles his way past midfield where it will be 3rd down.
Now, Mike Warren's a good back that we're going to be talking about for years to come in the Big 12. But you notice here, this West Virginia defense, even though he had a pretty good gain on that play, he had to get through Kwiatkowski and like 4 other guys. I mean, there's about 4 or 5 hats on the ball. Every time he gets anywhere near the line of scrimmage, they've done a great job beating up on him this afternoon.
3rd down and 6. Warren stays in the game. Blitz is on. Lanning lets it go. Knocked down. Another fine defensive play by West Virginia, this time Darryl Worley.
And they've had Worley primarily on Bundridge and Ricky Rump for Chestnut guarding Lazard, and they've just had a lot of success. Iowa State's not been able to do anything consistently on offense this entire game. Remember, it took 2 fake punts just to get 3 points at the very end of the half.
5 minutes, 38 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and the Mountaineers lead by 10. Dillon again with the fair catch, this time near the 17-yard line. And we'll take a timeout here in Morgantown, West Virginia, searching for win number 7. Down year, they won their first 3, then lost 4 in a row to the best teams in the conference. Oklahoma State, Baylor, and TCU by an average score of 45-26. Then they ripped off 3 straight wins over Texas Tech, Texas, and KU, outscoring the opposition 118-46. And a lot of that has to do with facing all the powers in the middle of their season.
Yeah, it was a tough schedule. They knew it was going to be hard, and they couldn't get through that stretch.
Well, you wonder here if they're going to keep it on the ground. I mean, they have a total of 54 yards rushing in today's game, averaging 2.7 yards per carry. And we told you they were averaging over 300 yards per game in the last 3 games.
That was a nice start to the drive and the run by Howard, though.
Well, they hand the football off to Shell, and he breaks free. And Russell Shell, there is a flag down, is all the way inside the 40-yard line.
Well, this play was not supposed to go that far. Russell Shell was tackled about 2 yards deep and spun out of it with strength. Found himself in the open field, and that flag came kind of late on the run. But whenever a guy gets to the edge like that...
Offense. Number 6. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Whenever you see a guy get to the edge like that, you feel like somebody might have been holding. And this was Da'Keil Short's number 6. You see the hold downfield, and that did allow Shell to get to that edge. But the whole run is pretty impressive. There he spins out. And that's a big back going down the field. poor Luke Knott, he had him for a TFL, but just couldn't get it. And not a bad situation for West Virginia. They're still on 2nd and short. Let's see if they stick with the run.
Howard will stay with the run. This is Smallwood. First down past the 35-yard line.
And this is what I would stick with if I was Dana Holgorsen. I would stick with this run. Even though you haven't run the ball with much success today, you've kept running, which means you have those guys with their legs fresh. They're ready to go.
Smallwood again. First down, West Virginia.
And remember how frustrated Iowa State's defense has been. They've played great throughout the game, but their offense hasn't picked them up very much. This is a time to break their spirit by the Mountaineers.
Mountaineers in a hurry-up offense. Play action, there's a flag down, and Howard's going deep for Gibson. He's there, but he can't hold on.
And I think they caught Iowa State in the neutral zone there.
Illegal substitution.
Oh.
Defense. Number 98. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Trent Taylor was not on the field in time. There was some confusion by Iowa State coming out onto the field. You see West Virginia running the ball, but still playing with a lot of pace, a la the Oregon Ducks. And Iowa State is trying to substitute players. West Virginia doesn't have to because they didn't bring anybody in. And here's the almost catch by Gibson, who's just had a great game, but couldn't hold on to that one. Really nicely thrown ball by Howard.
Still the penalty results in a first down, and now Howard will scramble and run. And they continue to find success on the ground. Why not keep it there?
First down, West Virginia.
Well, speaking of Oregon, Howard's not quite Vernon Adams, but he is shifty back there.
Smallwood, not much. A gain of about 2.
Good tackle by Brian Mills. He's a pretty sure tackler, and he's been playing well. This Iowa State defense has really been up to the task.
You saw the percentage of running the football in Dana Holgerson's career, and Howard has a huge hole, and he is gone. Touchdown, Skyler Howard. Woo!
You know what I was really impressed with on that drive from Skyler Howard is not only his ability to kind of run the whole offense and get the guys up to the line of scrimmage fast and put the defense on his heels, but you know, to run the ball like that physically and take hits and be breathing hard and then be able to throw out some nice deep balls for Gibson. He's really got a good control of this offense and a great lead block by Stone Underwood coming around on the pull.
And was that the dagger to the heart of Iowa State? Came in knowing that this would be their coach's final game. Skyler Howard, 32 yards out. He's thrown for 177. He's run the ball well. Final 32 result in a touchdown for the Mountaineers.
Today, guys.
As long as you don't come out in the third quarter in sweats.
Yeah.
That's just a little insulting.
Exactly. You've got to be professional about it. From the 25-yard line, Iowa State will have the football. They have yet to score a touchdown today. West Virginia's defense has been on mark. Lanning fires left, completes it, first down, Cyclones. Bundridge with another catch. Gain of 12.
That time Ricky Rumpf was giving Bundridge a big cushion, and off the play action, Lanning was able to get the ball out there. He's not throwing the ball downfield much at all in this game.
Joshua Thomas in, and he'll go the middle. Past the 40, still on his feet, and he should have another first down. But the ball is on the floor, and who has it? West Virginia has it. Turnover turnovers cost Iowa State badly last week, and they're costing them this afternoon in Morgantown.
I understand the changeup. You know, Mike Warren, you're going to need him for the fourth quarter, so they get Joshua Thomas into the game, also a freshman.
Holding on the field was a fumble recovered by the defense. First and 10.
And he's a physical runner, short yardage style back, so he keeps his legs going pretty well. The problem is, the longer you keep going, the more opportunity there is to strip and rip. He runs right over Shaq Petaway, and then that ball is ripped out. That's Jeremy Tyler, who ripped it out of Lithonia, Georgia. Really wasn't attempting much to make the tackle. Tyler just grabbed at the ball and was able to show the hand strength to get it out of Thomas's hands.
And then recovered himself. So let's see if West Virginia can put this game in the deep freeze. Still 18 minutes and 9 seconds left. And there is Thomas, who fumbled the football. Iowa State fumbled 8 times last week in Manhattan, lost 4. And most of them costly in the last 10 minutes of the game. Here's a completion near the 42-yard line for West Virginia. And it is Russell Shell, the running back out of Hopewell, Pennsylvania.
That's a big guy to run a slant pattern.
Well, they're going to keep it on the ground, and why not? That last drive, they ran for 88 yards rushing, and you said now's the time to hammer it down their throat, and they did.
I think they smell that blood in the water. This time, Howard has Shell come on the wrong side of him, but he still knows where the hole's supposed to be, and that's a pretty experienced quarterback. Can't make the handoff, but instead of eating the ball, runs it through the hole.
Play action going deep for Gibson, but too far. Wiltz with good coverage. There is a flag down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Offense. Number 77. 15-yard penalty. Third down.
Marcel Lazard, right tackle from Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Right at the top of your screen, you see him there, number 77. Really fanning out.
Oh, yeah.
Nice underneath move by Jay Jones. And all Lazard could do was get a handful of his face mask.
So third down and 17, and Howard will run it. He'll come up short of the first down by a good 9 yards. Dale Pearson on the tackle. So that'll be a fourth down, and I'm sure the running back Joshua Thomas, who fumbled the football, pleased because Iowa State still in it, but trailing by 17. And they all remember their last and only time they came to Morgantown. They had that incredible comeback victory 2 years ago. Fair catch by Lazard at the 15. Well, this is the first of our triple header today, and as you know, the bad blood continues next with a bitter in-state rivalry between Kansas State and Kansas in the Sunflower Showdown. It all begins right after our game here on FS1, and K-State has 4 wins on the year. They had 2, maybe 3 games that were in their grasp. They let them get away, or if they win today, they would be bowl eligible, and they would host West Virginia next week.
The Sunflower Showdown?
Jayhawks and Wildcats.
That's the state flower or something?
Yes, and it's a beautiful one. It's also to be found in Tuscany. A lot of them. Down to the 10-yard line, and this will not go well for Iowa State. Juan Wesley with the catch, but he'll lose a good 5 yards in the play. Worley smelled it out.
And again, all these intermediate routes for the Cyclones with nothing going downfield. You wonder if there's going to be a double move at some point. Iowa State's going to try to strike it rich.
Lanning runs the ball, but just a short gain. It's third down. Passing situation, down by 17 and 9 yards to go. Blitz is on and down goes Lanning. Oh my goodness, that was Aaron Kinsey coming out of nowhere, the senior out of Miami. He was honored before the ball game. This is his final home game.
And he just beat blocking. K.J. Dillon came on a blitz on the other side. You're going to see number 9 come flying in and take on the back. And Petaway also on a blitz. Gets a hand in there, but it was Kinsey one-on-one with the tackle with the bull rush that's going to get most of the credit for that sack.
5 sacks by West Virginia today. And that's the end of the third quarter. Mountaineers lead by 17. FS1 College Football presented by K Jewelers. Rhodes will coach his final quarter as the Iowa State head coach. Sheldon Gibson, though, he has stolen the game with 199 yards for West Virginia. And Iowa State down by 17 points, now must punt to open the fourth quarter. Iowa State came in at 3-8. Mountaineers bowl eligible, winning last week. They are 6-4. And they will be at Kansas State next week. K.J. Dillon, fair catch, 45-yard line. Huge game in the conference tonight with Oklahoma at Oklahoma State. I mean,
who do you got?
I like Oklahoma, even though they'll be on the road. Stillwater's a tough place to grab a victory, but it was like what you're talking about. Their running game has performed so well, and their defense has stepped up as well. They swing it to the left side, and then just a short game for West Virginia. I mean, you look down at all of the defensive numbers in the Big 12 Conference. Oklahoma leads in scoring defense, total defense, rush defense, pass defense, most sacks with 38, a ridiculous number.
I like Oklahoma too. I think Oklahoma's going to win the game because of the defense and the run game. And speaking of that, we just saw another nice physical run by Skylar Howard coming behind the guard, Stone Underwood, who's been a really good puller, beaten up on Iowa State's front seven.
Yeah, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Now he'll run it again and hammer it forward for the first down. He was a guy who walked on at Stephen F. Austin, then transferred to Riverside Community College, didn't start the first game. They were having trouble in that first game. He comes in and never comes out. He leads Riverside Community College to 10 wins. Red shirts last year at West Virginia, and he's taken over and been a very capable quarterback for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and it's a mental aspect of it that Dana Holgorsen really likes. He can really run their offense, and he likes the fact that he's an angry guy. Because you know what? Holgerson's kind of an angry guy, too, in a good way.
Yeah. Well, Howard will keep it on the left side, but be hauled down near the line of scrimmage. He now has over 500 yards rushing this year. I mean, you think of Dana Holgorsen, you think of a flat-out air attack.
Well, when you have a quarterback who's not 6 feet tall, who's not going to be as comfortable just standing back there in the pocket in the shotgun, you got to do other things, and they've done a great job adjusting.
Blitz comes on. Howard drops it off after he was crushed back at the 40-yard line, but he's able to complete the pass to Smallwood, who gets the first down.
That was really pretty by Howard and Smallwood. Actually, probably kind of an ill-advised throw. I mean, this is a screen pass, and he lofts it in there with a lot of traffic, but also a bit of a convoy of offensive linemen. And Smallwood, very patient, does a good job of catching that ball, and Howard took a shot right in the sternum.
Ooh. Jordan Harris was the man on that blitz. Howard's going to keep it again this time. The defense read it perfectly. We're able to drop him. Regan Northrup, the redshirt freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, who's played well his last 3 ball games.
Loss of 5. Brings up 2nd and 15. Ball 35.
First 8 drives for West Virginia didn't go well. Averaged 2.5 yards per carry. Last 2, they've been well over 5 per carry and 96 total yards. Howard, incomplete, too short.
Skylar Howard's pass intended for the field short.
And that's part of the problem with Skylar Howard this year. We talked about it a little earlier. It's a little iffy when he throws those intermediate routes. He's not always able to get it all the way out there from the opposite hash. He just asked for another towel. So maybe he feels like his hands are a little wet.
Well, it has been misting here in Morgantown. They said it would be dry until about 1:30. Then the chances of rain would increase as the day progressed, and here it comes. 3rd and 15. Downfield, left side, intended for Gibson. He is broken up in the end zone. Good coverage from Jamal Wiltz, the free safety.
Well, they've liked the one-on-one matchups with Gibson all day. He almost connected another long touchdown pass that was dropped. This one, Wiltz is in pretty good position and just gets that arm in there. Gibson couldn't really get his hands together around the ball. Good defense.
So it will be 4th down, a punting situation for West Virginia. And Lazard will be the return man standing at his 10. They just kind of pooch it towards the end zone, but it will carry. We'll take the break here in Morgantown. West Virginia 23, Iowa State 6. Welcome back to FS1 College Football presented by K Jewelers.
Oh, look at that monorail, Steve. I want to ride that thing so bad, but I got nowhere to go. But it's the coolest thing. It's like these little, they fit like 8 people, and they roll all around West Virginia, the campus. It's such a great college town. And it keeps you dry.
It is. And they're trying to bring winning ways back here again because they really had it going just a few years ago. 2005, they went 11-1. They were the Big East champs. They beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. They went 11-1 in 1988, 11-1 in 1993 as well. Last few years, they've been in the middle of the pack as they moved in 2012 to the Big 12 conference.
And that's the adjustment.
Yeah,
I really feel like that's the adjustment for West Virginia. They moved to the Big 12. You know, the fact that they moved to the Big 12 gets some guys like Skylar Howard, you know, guys from Fort Worth, Texas, who want to play against Texas teams. We got.
That's Amoila, who's the injured player in the field. And we will take a break here in Morgantown. 11:27 to play. Oni Amoile left under his own power. West Virginia with a big lead on Iowa State. And time for the forward game summary as we take a look at the total rush yards. Mountaineers doing a lot of that rushing lately, trying to put this game away. 3 turnovers by Iowa State have been costly, and that begs to ask the question, with this being Paul Rhodes' final game as the coach, we've got to talk about what the future is at Iowa State with their football program, because quite frankly, Paul Rhodes put it on the map, helped rebuild the stadium. They have a new indoor facility. The practice facility is second to none, but
and a pretty loaded roster.
Success.
Yeah, pretty loaded roster. Not the success that they were looking for, so they've made a change with the coach. You figure that the staff is going to change out too. That makes it very difficult to finish a season, as you know, everybody is splintering off and looking for the next thing. But the Cyclones, you have to give them credit. They've stayed together pretty well through this. What's the future with all the job openings? That's a tough call.
Lanning fires right, incomplete, and it will be 4th down.
Look at this, Fizz. Look at all these jobs. There's an alphabetical list of all the jobs. There's some other ones that are not in there, like North Texas and Tulane opened up today. And there's Iowa State right at the top. And you wonder, you know, there's been some rumors about a few different guys, but it's really hard to say once the other jobs fill and who moves from where, and do guys come up from FCS. Georgia Southern coach has been mentioned for this Iowa State job. The Navy coach has been mentioned. People feel like that option football might be something to go with, like Georgia Tech has had a lot of success with it, and Paul Johnson.
But would you be bringing in a coach that's bringing in a different system that doesn't fit this personnel?
Number 12, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's something they have to think about. You know, I mean, a lot of these different openings are going to be filled by a guy that doesn't have the exact same plan as the coach before. And when you fire somebody, basically, you might be trying to get away from that plan. You know, could Joel Lanning run a pure triple option? Yeah, probably. He's a big enough quarterback and a good enough athlete. Would they be able to mix in the pass enough to get the ball out to a guy like Alan Lazard? I'm not sure. Here's another weird fake punt formation.
Kramer's going to throw, and it's broken up. So West Virginia will take over on downs.
After a delay of game, they still ran the fake punt. That's the 3rd fake punt. They have one more in their arsenal, we've been told. A good job by Kwiatkowski batting that ball down in no man's land. And Kramer trying to throw a slant there, really, or a deep in route. And, I mean, I don't know what to tell you there. You got Terrell Chestnut at the great corner on the coverage. If you want to throw the ball, just bring Lanning out and run a play. I don't really understand the fake in that situation. And now West Virginia with the ball in a great position to score. Trying that play backed up pretty questionable.
They have 3 number 12s in the roster. And one is their quarterback, their backup quarterback, Sam Richardson. And here is Russell Shell rushing forward. Is that Sam Richardson? Yes, it's
That
Sam
is
Richardson.
Sam Richardson. So they're doing a bit of a number shake-up there. You have 2 number 12s.
3.
2 that might punt.
Yes.
One of them is Sam Richardson, I guess, and he ends up trying to throw a slant. Now, you can't change jerseys in the middle of a game, but you can put guys out there with the same jersey playing the same position as long as they're not on the field at the same time. It's not very kind to the announcers, though.
2nd down and 4. End zone they go, and incomplete. Well, Sam Richardson came into this game having thrown over 1,400 yards on the year, and Joel Lanning had thrown over 1,000, but they thought Lanning was the future, so they went in that direction.
And you look at them, they're a young football team. Sam B. Richardson has played a lot of football games for Iowa State. You know, so has Quentin Bundridge. You know, these guys have been around a long time for Coach Rhodes, but the future is Lanning and Warren.
This is Shell for the touchdown. West Virginia trying to put this game in the deep freeze, and they've done such a fine job on the ground 2nd half.
Shell very patient there. Looks for the hole. Big physical runner. Now, that ball came out right at the last moment, but it looks like it was right over the line before it came out. And the ground can't cause a fumble anyway.
Well, they were determined to run. First 8 drives, we told you, only 54 yards rushing, but their last 4 drives, 114 yards rushing. And quite frankly, I think a lot of it has been their defense. You know, no one has scored on West Virginia's defense the last 8 quarters.
Well, and that's why you can't really gauge what they're doing on the run game 2.5 quarters into the game, because you know they're going to keep doing it. They've kept the defense honest by doing it. Their object is to wear the defense down. They're going to take a look at this, but I think it's going to stand. That ball broke the plane before it came out. Let's check the knees.
Yeah, he was across the plane of the goal line.
Here's a better shot. Yeah. Just there. And after a while, you know, this run game, you get tired of tackling these guys. You know, Shell and Smallwood and even Skylar Howard with his big head. They're all guys that run hard with a big forward lean. And especially if your offense isn't doing much. After 3 fake punt tries, your defense is going to wear down.
Yet another angle. The other one was a clear shot down the line where you could see that football over the goal line, and they say it will stand.
Ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
I want to get back to something we were talking about earlier about Iowa State trying to achieve success in Ames, Iowa. They've never really won there. They've never had a 10-win season. Their last conference title was 1912 in the Missouri Valley Conference.
And that goes back to expectations. You know, there's a lot of money in college football because of the television rights deals. Everybody's building new facilities. Iowa State's no different in Ames, and they want to try somebody else.
The extra point is good. West Virginia with a 30-6 lead on their way to win number 7 this year. Snow, the Mountaineer, never loses his enthusiasm.
There's only one mascot in college football that literally looks like he came out of the hills to the game, and that's that guy. Love him.
Yeah, before the ball game, they were playing the song "Take Me Home, Country Road." Really?
They'll play it here if they can hang on to the victory. A lot of waterlogged fans, though.
30-6 is the score. West Virginia well on their way as Iowa State struggling all season long. And Iowa State coach Paul Rhodes coaching his final game. Now it's time for a game break. Here's Jenny Taft.
Well, Steve, things are heating up in Columbia, the #1 team in the country with just a 3-point lead until Deshaun Watson with the touchdown, his 3rd rushing TD of the game. The extra point, no good. The Tigers lead 34-25 in the 4th. Steve Petros, back to you.
How about no quit in South Carolina?
These rivalry games are tricky.
Yeah, they are.
You know what they say? Throw out the record.
Is that what they say?
That's what they usually say.
Lanning back to the air, and he has just been off target much of the day.
He's been pressured too. I mean, there was a lot of inside pressure that time from number 31, Isaiah Bruce, who's been having a really good game. You can't say enough about the motor and the energy of this West Virginia defense. And I know it, Fizz. Iowa State has not looked good offensively. I think a lot of it is due to what the Mountaineers have done defensively.
Screen pass, and this is to Mitchell Harger, the junior, who has played a little bit in the second half. Iowa State was 3 for 5 in the first quarter on converting 3rd downs, but just 2 for 11 since, and they have not thrown the ball that often to Alan Lazard, who is their top offensive talent.
And not a lot of Mike Warren here in the second half. It's been Joshua Thomas and Harger there.
Lanning, he had Lazard wide open. Well, it's raining here in Morgantown, but nothing like the rain we saw fall last night in the state of Texas when Baylor was taking on TCU, and it was finally the Horned Frogs winning in 2 overtimes. So
it's a great scene at the end with the kids rushing the field and the pouring rain, and Patterson there doing the Horned Frog sign. It was wild.
And just the raindrops just dripping off of the helmets of both players, and both teams love to throw and unable to in that kind of monsoon. West Virginia moving on. And how about their bowl picture? Because they became bowl eligible with a 49-0 win over KU last week. And of course, the national championship game will be in Glendale, Arizona. Cotton and Orange are hosting the semifinal games, but a Big 12 team will go to the Sugar. They'll also go to the Liberty and the Alamo. A lot of those January bowls, and that's where they want to play. They want to play in January, one of those bowl games. The Big 12 also plays in the Dallas and the Russell Athletic. But let's see right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams are eligible for bowls this year in the Big 12 Conference. Must have at least 6 wins. Smallwood on that carry.
West Virginia's got a chance to finish off their season in a pretty impressive fashion. It looks like they're going to win this game, and next week Kansas State, they can win that one, and you win a bowl game. That's a 9-win season.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive for Dana Holgorsen. And then remember, he's been here long enough to where these are all his players, and this is his system.
And this is Smallwood again, sweeping the left side, and Wendell will get the first down.
First down, West Virginia.
He's closing in on 1,300 yards rushing. He and Shell will be monsters next year, as both of them will be seniors.
Smallwood out of Eastern Christian Academy in Wilmington, Delaware. We had a chance to meet with him a little bit earlier in the season. He's got a really infectious smile and a great young man, and really unselfish. All these ball carriers and backs for West Virginia, these guys play together very well.
He has 68 yards rushing on 14 carries, and Smallwood 7 100-yard games this year, the most since Steve Slayton had 10 back in 2006. Boy, and he was some kind of special runner.
I remember him, Devine, who was more of a perimeter guy, I think, and then I was here a few years ago with Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
Was just lighting people up, and there was actually a game against Oklahoma. They moved him to tailback, and he had over 300 yards against Mike Stoops' defense.
Well, this time Smallwood through the middle for about a 4-yard gain. You're right. The last time I was here, West Virginia hammered KU, and Geno Smith was the quarterback, through 1 incompletion. He was 23 for 24, I believe, and the 1 incompletion he threw away.
And all the talk was, you know, Dana Holgorsen, air raid from the Mike Leach coaching tree. And that team looks very different from this one that runs the ball quite well.
Howard going deep, overthrows everybody. And it'll be 4th down and 7. You wonder why they're going to the air when they were running the ball so well.
Or why Smallwood ran out of bounds on his long run there. A lot of interesting decisions in this game, but none more interesting than the shuffling number 12s and the punt game for Iowa State. I've never seen anything quite like that.
3 fake punts, 2 successful, 1 not.
1 delay a game on a fake punt attempt, and 1 timeout called on another fake punt attempt.
Line drive kick, and it will be taken by Lazard, and he is out of bounds near the 22-yard line.
It's become pretty popular, this misdirection in the punt game.
We'll be right back. Iowa State has gone with 3 fake punts in this game. Twice they've been successful.
That was the first one with Kramer. That was a run to the A-gap. Here's another, same series. They end up calling a timeout in that situation. Here's Kramer again with one of the worst throws and catches of all time. But that's a successful fake punt. It's a good catch, but it took him twice to catch it. And now, is it Kramer as the punter? No, it's backup quarterback Sam B. Richardson. And he can actually throw it, but it's tipped away by Nick Kwiatkowski. There's the punter, Kramer. Sam B. Richardson wears the other number 12. And then there's another number 12 running.
Yeah, there's 3 number 12s on their roster. There is a ball on the field, but I think the running back was down, and we see Sam Richardson now in the game. He was the starting quarterback to open the season. Redshirt senior out of Winter Park, Florida, career over 6,000 yards passing, one of 5 active quarterbacks in the FBS with over 6,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing.
And he's 0 for 1 today.
He will scramble and run and slide forward, but short of that first down. So it'll be 3rd down and about 2.
Sam B. Richardson, the captain of this team, handled his demotion pretty well. A lot of experience for a backup quarterback, but as we talked about, Joel Lanning, the future of this Cyclones program at that position.
The blitz is on. Richardson to loop it downfield. Lazard with the catch. We thought we might see more of that. Just a jump ball with the 6'5" Lazard over the smaller cornerbacks for West Virginia.
Yeah, that was Darryl Worley that time, who's had a very good game with a really impressive interception and some nice tackles. But that time Lazard got the best of him and a bit of an underthrown ball, and those are the most difficult to defense.
So Richardson able to come up with the first down at the 48-yard line. And Richardson dropped it, picks it up, and he will be tackled back at the 46. Darian Howard, a backup nose tackle.
Here's Richardson. He's going to turn, but forget the ball. He never really handled the snap. That play was meant to go to the right side, ended up on the left side with a huge loss.
Richardson will scramble and be mugged near midfield. We're not seeing the same offense we anticipated seeing by Iowa State. They're a team that averaged 27 points per game coming into this contest, and they led Oklahoma State by 17, lost that game, led Kansas State by 21, lost that game, 2 games they should have won. And remember, they were tied with Iowa, who's unbeaten at 11-0, with 4 minutes left in the game, lost that game. So
well, they had Oklahoma State, who was undefeated at that point in Ames. They had him beaten, they had him dead to rights and gave it up. Kansas State too.
Yep. And basically handed
Ball start.
those teams victories.
Offense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Last week, obviously, because of the turnovers. Most late, last 10 minutes of the game, 4 of them. Richardson on 3rd and 19. Well, they came back, and they say the catch was made, but was he out of bounds? He was out of bounds when Carson Epps was able to make the play. Incomplete.
Pretty physical the whole way through between Epps and Ricky Rumpf. And Epps really laying out for that ball, but the knee does come down. Nice call. The knee does come down out of bounds, but pretty athletic play just to make the catch. Out of bounds by Epps.
Iowa State certainly with one of the toughest schedules this year. 6 of Iowa State's opponents are currently ranked in the nation's top 25, and 8 losses are to teams with a combined record of 68 and 17. There is a timeout on the field. Now it's time for the Dr. Pepper one-of-a-kind plays of the game, and those are one-of-a-kind Pepper plays of the game.
Yeah, and it was Shelton Gibson with his day. Really not the most consistent wide receiver. They've struggled finding consistency on the perimeter offensively for the Mountaineers, but started out the game after a turnover with that great catch and run. Then the beautiful kick return. Great move right there. And this is the fastest player on the Mountaineers team. And then another great long catch that set up a field goal. Had another chance for 2 more long ones that ended up in the end zone that he just couldn't haul in. But Shelton Gibson, the sophomore out of Cleveland, Ohio, with a very memorable day here at Milan Puskar Stadium in Morgantown.
Career high 146 yards through the air. Those were the one-of-a-kind Dr. Pepper plays of the game. But West Virginia's defense doing a marvelous job as well. Iowa State came in, we told you, averaging 27 per game, but West Virginia has not allowed a touchdown in almost 9 quarters. There's 4 minutes and 25 seconds left in this one.
Look out for the fake.
Do they have one more in them?
One more.
You said they had 4 plays. They've used 3 of them. And Iowa State will down the football inside the 5-yard line. We'll take time as well. Dana Holgorsen. West Virginia by 24 over Iowa State. New quarterback is William Crest. He is the redshirt freshman from Baltimore. And Elijah Wellman right now running the football. He usually is their blocking back.
Guy out of Huntington, West Virginia. They were able to wrestle him away from Marshall, and he ended up here in Morgantown, and he's just one of those guys that's a hard worker. William Crest Jr. is somebody people are very excited about here in Morgantown. A good-looking quarterback, still trying to get a grasp of the offense and running things in the same way that Skylar Howard can, but definitely the more athletic of the two, and his body type fits what Dana Holgorsen does a lot more. 6'2", 212, redshirt freshman.
And he led Dunbar to 2 state titles. He'll run the football to Wellman, who gets that first down for West Virginia.
You know, Wellman, along with number 88, Cody Clay, both local guys, a tight end and a fullback. And how did they end up here in Morgantown for an offense that generally doesn't use a tight end or a fullback? Well, you have to take the local guys because you have to build a bit of a fence around your state. And Dana Holgorsen was able to do that, bringing in both these guys, and he uses them quite a bit. Cody Clay and Wellman have become very good blockers in the run game. That they obviously do a lot, and both guys have caught touchdown passes out the flat this year.
Well, they'll give it to Wellman again, and he dives forward. That's one thing he does well. He is constantly going north and fighting that daylight.
I'd say he has an impressive beard, but
yep.
Nick O'Toole, the punter's got such an impressive beard, it almost dwarfs all the other beards on the field. Maybe even the Mountaineers' beard.
I think you're right. Nick O'Toole, who is from Corona, California, but boy, he plays like a Mountaineer.
That's Cody Clay, the tight end, also a West Virginia native.
Senior playing his last home game. Wellman again going south to north and pulls within 1 yard of a first down. Come up a little short.
Both Clay and Wellman in Lawrence, Kansas before the game. It was about 20 degrees with a terrible wind chill. We're out there shirtless, getting it going to warm it up, and made me cold just watching.
On 3rd down and 1. Wellman will bust that first down. He made a nifty move near the line of scrimmage and then worked his way to the left and got the necessary yardage.
Well, Holgorsen said he was going to give the ball to Wellman a little bit more a few weeks back. You look at Cody Clay there, the other guy from West Virginia, the tight end. It's senior day for him, like you said, and he's got all that face paint on. Gives Dana a big hug. It just leaves all that face paint on the side of his cheek. Looked like he's been working in the coal mine.
Yeah.
Looks like it's been wiped off by the rain.
Yeah. 1 minute to go. Once again, West Virginia with a record of 6-4. They've won their last 3, trying to go 4-0 in the month of November, and they will go to 1 knee. And that should do it, as West Virginia will push their Big 12 record to an even 500, and they could move over that with a victory over Kansas State next week. And Kansas State will be at Kansas in the game to follow ours here on FS1.
West Virginia continuing that forward lean that they've really had ever since losing those 4 games right in the middle of their season. And Dana Holgorsen really turning some negative press into some positive press here in Morgantown. And then on the other side with Iowa State, Paul Rhodes, what will his career be remembered as in Ames? I think he's going to be remembered as a passionate guy who loved his players and loved to coach football in the place and loved the area.
How about the hard hat?
And he's moving on. Yeah.
Final game as an Iowa State Cyclone head coach, but a marvelous guy, very classy. And Iowa State season is over at 3-9. The final score from Morgantown, West Virginia is the Mountaineers 30, Iowa State 6. Coming up after this short break, we'll get you to Los Angeles for more college football coverage.